Hi, welcome to Patience and the Purpose, a channel dedicated to encouraging you on your homeschool and family journey. I'm Shar, and today I'm going to be showing you my 4th grade curriculum choices. Let's get started. So for science, my 2nd grader and 4th grader, and my kindergartner as well, if he's interested in joining us, that is a together subject. So we are using Simply Charlotte Mason's Learning About Birds. So I use this off the Simply Charlotte Mason website. I download the ebook. You can buy the ebook. I chose to just put it on my Kindle because that keeps it simple for me and I don't have to look for the book. So I use that guide, and the books with that learning curriculum are the Burgess Bird book. So we're going through that. And this is the only book that you really need, but to enhance our studies, we have this, and we've actually had this for a few years. This is kind of, if you're a Charlotte Mason teacher, you know, you just, or if you are interested at all about nature study, you have this. And we are currently reading about Blackie the Crow, and so we were in here today looking at the crows and what Anne Botsford Comstock has said about them, and so it's just kind of a natural thing that we go into this book now. So along with that, it's recommended that you get a field guide. So this is the field guide that we have. We live in Greater Atlanta, so we have common birds of Greater Atlanta, and yeah, my kids have been identifying birds all over the place. As we're sitting in the dining room and they look out the window, they just say, "Oh, that's a blue jay, that's a cardinal." The other day I was like, what's that on the deck? And we didn't know, and they went and got the field guide, and they was like, "It's a phoebe." So there's a lot of birds that fly around our house, and this is 50 Favorite Birds coloring book. And so I will either make a copy for this for my 2nd grader, or I will ask them both to draw it. So my 4th grader usually will draw it. Sometimes I'll make copies for them both. And I also got this book. We haven't gotten into it yet, DIY Science, because my kids like to do experiments too outside of learning about birds. That's the core of our curriculum this year, as we are studying birds. But I'm hopeful to get into some science experiments in this, so I'll give you an update and let you know how that goes. History and geography is also another together subject that I do with all of my children. However, for my 4th grader, she has extra readings assigned to her within that curriculum. So we are doing Simply Charlotte Mason's Modern Times. Along with that history, I pull African American history books that we do. I always lay that within our curriculum because that's important to us. Within the Simply Charlotte Mason history, I would say it is a great curriculum, but within every history, there is always holes I have found that really don't fill in the gaps, in my opinion, of African American history. And it was one of the major reasons that I wanted to teach my kids at home, is to make sure that they had a true understanding of African and African American history. So far, 12 weeks in, I've really enjoyed Simply Charlotte Mason history itself, and I've really enjoyed the books that we've been pulling. So for history, I have the guide, which I also downloaded as an ebook, and that is our history, our modern American history, our geography, and our world history. And for the geography portion of it, we are going through these books. This is our 2nd year. We're actually doing visits to Asia this year. So this is Material World, Hungry Planet. With the modern American history, we read Stories of America, which is a Simply Charlotte Mason book that can be found on their website. And for the world history, we read Stories of the Nations. And with that, we have the stuff they left behind. And these are just amazing pictures that, as we're going through stories of the nations, we pull these out. We're going to be going through one this week, but we've already gone through the Eiffel Tower, and we learned about how that was built and the architect who built that and everything. So that's cool. We have quite a few African American history things that we read, historical fiction, various read alouds. So I'm just going to show you a few here that are a little bit of a core, but A Child's Introduction to African American History. This will be our second year going through it. We're actually going to be finishing it this year and maybe coming back through some things, but we got this last year. I have this book that we'll be finishing this year, and then she has another book, Bold Men in Black History, but this is Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History. And so on top of this, I always end up going on YouTube and finding a video of the person to just add more to that. And also this book leads us often to getting more books at the library about, so we can go deeper into any specific person. This book we started this year. I can't say enough good things about it. It's just the illustrations are amazing. The language is very to the point, but just wonderful, and wonderful for children, I believe. So yeah, Heart and Soul by Kadir Nelson. Social studies is something that we really focus on through history, but there's some government ideas and some other core ideas that I want to make sure we cover that's not always covered in our history or it's covered in an overview. So just covering all my bases, I guess. I wanted this workbook that we go through, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt Social Studies 4, and we just go through this together. Again, my second grader's involved in this as well. We did this last year. We got the third grade book, and she was first grade then, and she's just involved with it because this is a together subject that doesn't take long to do. The chapters are pretty quick, but it really gives us a good basis of various government things, how different cities and states run their government. We learn about goods and services, and yeah, so just other various social studies things. If you want to see more in depth into that, let me know, and I'll go more in depth. For language arts, she's doing Easy Peasy, all-in-one homeschool. She's doing their workbook, which covers spelling. She's currently writing her own biography about Michelle Obama, so she's learning about research and research papers. She's doing that in here. So it covers her spelling, it covers, learning her adverbs, inferences, writing, adjectives, and a lot more. And I really like it. It's really simple. This program can be done all online. If you were a beginner homeschool, I definitely recommend going completely with all-in-one homeschool. We just use it for the language arts within her core. She's also learning cursive this year. So she has this. This is pretty old school, so she hasn't, and it goes straight into a lot of just writing sentences and everything. So we're starting with this cursive writing that I got at, I got it at Ollie's, y'all, 79 cents. So that was a good buy, because I got it and I think I forgot I got it, and then a friend of mine gave me this and I started her on this, and it was intense. So we're going here, and she's nearly done with this. Oh yeah, she's pretty much to the end of it. So by the time she's finished with this, we'll be going to this. And for math, we have done Singapore math since she was in first grade, and we decided to stick with it again this year. So we are doing Dimensions, grade 4. This is the workbook. This is the teacher manual. And this is the textbook. This is actually their new math, Dimensions math. They have added a lot more color into it. The past years, everything's been black and white. They have a lot of pictures and things, but they've all been black and white. And so Singapore math is not for the faint of heart. Let me just say that. Those are our 4th grade curriculum choices. I hope you got some inspiration here. I'm going to be showing you our 2nd grade curriculum in the next video.